I think the way this was all brought about, Doge, the concept was good. The way it's been initiated, not so much. You don't cut off your nose to spite your face type of thing. You don't just start eliminate, eliminate, eliminate. You got to investigate this stuff first. So, anyway, to furlough all these people all at one time, why don't you see what they're doing first? You know, what is their job critical? Are you just a paper shuffler? You work in the mailroom where there's 10 people and you only need 7? 10 people, you only need 2? You see what I'm saying? They went and Elon Musk is not doing this. He's not cutting anybody. He's suggesting, and then it's up to Trump whether he's going to do it or not. Musk has no authority as far as you will fire him. No, Musk ain't making that decision. Trump is. I think the way they went about it was a little too drastic. I definitely agree with it should be done. These things should be investigated, audited, and start cutting where necessary. If you don't save $1 trillion over 4 years and you only save 800 million, well, hey, that's 800 million you saved, you know. But don't just start eliminating everything without doing the proper investigation first. And prior to Trump getting elected, there is no way in hell Elon Musk knew what was going on within these different governmental offices. So I think they overreacted. They just went full bore and without thinking it out. But like Musk said, if we make a mistake, we're going to correct it. As soon as possible, we're going to correct it. We will make the corrections. And we just got to give it a chance. He's only 9 weeks into the presidency. We got to see what's going to happen. As far as the stock market's concerned, I agree wholeheartedly with what's being said. They're just a bunch of babies. These are elites that are trying to run the world economic situation, and they shouldn't have that right. What good does it do to burn down a Tesla dealership because you don't like the man who only owns 12% of the company? I just it's radical thinking and it's ridiculous on both ends. I'm just sick and tired of the progressive left. The right wingers, they say what they say, but they're not out there fucking firebombing shit. They're not out there trying to bankrupt companies.
Where do we go, as a country to
Well,
you've got
where we
people
were,
on the left and I'm probably one of them to a certain extent, especially when it comes to certain aspects of our country where they're like burn it down and start over.
let me ask you this. The previous 4 years, did you like the direction the country was going the previous 4 years?
It was going in a direction because I pretty much felt like it was stagnant and did nothing.
Okay. That's the plus side of it.
And that's usually what happens when you have a Democratic president.
They do nothing.
Right. I'm not see, and that's the thing too. I feel like a lot of people that are on the right, when they see people on the left, they think, oh, they're Democrats, they're Democrats. When so it's kind of funny because there's a lot of channels that I follow, and when they get that rebuttal of, oh, well, Biden this, oh, well, the Democrats that, it's like, and like, I'm not a Democrat. There's a lot of systems here that are designed for not all of us. There's no
Oh,
getting around that shit.
that's a
But
given. Well,
how do you
given
go
that,
from that?
you start buckling down on stuff. You start stopping it, nipping it in the bud. Like Josh Hawley, Missouri senator, he wanted to pass a bill that no person in Congress could trade stocks while they are in office
Yep,
or their family members.
one of the only things Josh Hawley has done right that I agree with.
But see, this is how if you point out, and the Republicans are just as bad about it too. So I'm not saying that, but how does a person go into office making $175,000 a year and come out 8, 12, 16 years later a gazillionaire? I like Donald Trump as far as um, his political stance. I like it. Do I like him as a person? I don't know. Never met the guy. However, people who didn't like him, still don't like him, have softened their opinion somewhat or changed it after meeting him and talking to him. You know, like a Theo Vaughn. After talking to Trump, he had a whole new perspective on him as a man. Joe Rogan, who was a left winger,
Both
he
of those
was.
are fucking idiots, Dad. Please don't.
You don't like Theo Vaughn?
I mean, sure, he's a comedian, but he's dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to politics. He has nothing to do with politics, and Joe Rogan's just a bro's bro. Joe Rogan was a Bernie Sanders fan. Joe Rogan said he would never in his entire life support Trump, and yet here we are. He's a grifter, and he's just wherever the,
Most of them are.
the but
Bill
that's my
Maher,
point. So I
same
don't
way.
exactly. So I don't really that's what I don't care for. What I like is seeing the smaller normal people streaming, doing the research, getting out there and doing it because what money are they making? Some of them literally eat off of their YouTube subscribers. And that's it. Like they have zero backing, like TYT did, or you know, and I like that. I like that it's normal people getting out there and talking about this shit, but it's still a fact of you've got to dig and research or trust
Well,
who you're listening to, which is really hard to do.
all I know is the direction this country was going in the last 4 years was not a good place, was not a good direction. So we needed change. And if what Trump is doing is a change for the good, hey, so be it. It just remains to be seen. It's too early to tell what's going to happen. There's some good things coming out of it, and there's obviously some bad things happening too. People are so worried about the stock market and the recession and all this stuff. my my stocks have lost a lot of money. One day they went down $17 a share. That's a good chunk of change considering they weren't an expensive share to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
My 401k hasn't been hurt yet, but hey, it's early. It could be, you know, but we just have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. I just there's so many things wrong with this country that need to be fixed that with his 4 years, even if everything went right in his 4 years, it's not going to get fixed completely. Hopefully it'll be on the upswing, and whoever's president next will continue good work if it's good work going to be done these next 4 years. We just have to wait and see, and hopefully it's for the better and not the worse. It can't be a hell of a lot worse than what Joe Biden was doing to this country and his administration, because he burned this country. I'm sorry, I will never, never not believe that. Letting the border wide open like that, that's just bullshit. Sorry, bullshit. Open borders is not a good thing for any country. How many other countries have open borders? Not many, if any.
If it was open borders, there wouldn't be any stats about my immigration because everybody would be allowed in. So there's never really been
Yeah, who's
open
going to pay for them
borders.
all? Open borders is just a stupid idea, period.
Right,
Every country
that's what I'm
should
saying.
have borders
That's
to
why
be
it doesn't
sovereign.
exist. Open borders isn't here. It never has been. Huh?
You seriously said that?
Yes, Dad. There wouldn't be
You
statistics on immigration if it
you
was
actually
open
believe that we did
borders
not
because
have an
there
open
wouldn't
border?
be any tracking. If there was open borders, they would just be coming in. There would be nothing
What do you think
about
they were doing, hon? These people were being let go into the country and then never to be heard from again except by happenstance, by sheer chance, were they caught if they committed a crime. If they committed a crime. I'm not saying all illegals are bad criminals, but by crossing the border illegally automatically makes them a criminal.
Sure, illegally, but not legally. And that's what
The only
people
way they
are
can come
bitching about
across the
too.
border is to uh, flee from conflict in their countries or and to seek asylum. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think was coming through under Biden? Haitians,
Anybody who
Ukrainians.
wanted to. Chinese, South, all of South America, every country, a lot of European countries were coming. Russians, Chinese, North Koreans, South Koreans. Well, not so many North Koreans because they couldn't get out of that country, but South Koreans were coming. All over the world they were coming from, but predominantly through South and Latin America, all of Latin America. And I'm glad he's getting rid of them. They're soaking up our Medicare system, our Medicaid system.
What are you
They're getting
talking about?
they're getting free health care when our own citizens can't even get free health care. That's one of your talking points. We should have free health care. We should have free education. They're getting it, but we got to pay for it. How's that fair? They come across the border, they're given housing, they're getting food stipends.
You do
They're,
understand in order to get any of those benefits, they have to have a social security number, right?
no,
And
no,
what,
they don't.
yes, 100%.
No,
Yes,
they
they
don't.
do. They get a
Megan,
temporary number.
those
Non-citizens
millions of
get
people
a
coming across
temporary
that
social
border did
security.
not get a social security number. They did
They
not.
cannot get benefits. They cannot sign paperwork and sign to get any kind of benefit without a ID. The social security number that they are given when they legally come in here, which was a
Legally.
record high during Biden, and I'll give you that, but they're
Legally.
legal. Legal. That's the
No, they're
difference.
not.
When they're given that number, then they can get those benefits. But that's the only time they're allotted those benefits. And when they have that number, when they work, they pay taxes. They pay into Medicare and Medicaid. They pay into Social Security. And if they don't become citizens, they don't get to see it either. They don't get any of it back. You guys do. US citizens do. Look up how many billions of dollars a year that immigrants pay in taxes, Dad. We're going to lose that. That's
Good.
why Florida has already had to loosen up the child labor laws because they've lost so many fucking immigrant work. Now they're going to have 14-year-olds work over 40 hours a week and overnights during school nights because that's fucking smart. It's so fucking stupid. You can't run a country without immigration. And that should be something known to a country that was created on it. God damn, it's not rocket science. But Biden had a record high of legal immigration. Yes, he
And
did.
illegal.
Legal immigration are the
And
ones that
illegal.
get the benefits. They cannot go up into the health department and sign up for a link or SNAP if they don't have a social security number. Period. And if they get a social security number, they legally come here. And that's the truth.
Nope, I disagree.
Well, look it up. I mean, that's literally how they get the benefits. When you have you ever signed or filled out a form for Link or SNAP or Medicaid?
No.
Okay, I have many times. And yes, it's on there literally. It asks for that ID
Well,
if
wait a
you're an
minute. When the
immigrant.
kids were little, we did in Indiana, and we were
Okay.
denied.
Okay. That's stupid. Did you
So
need
pretty
it?
much.
Because I mean, if you needed it, you should
Yeah,
have gotten it.
we
Shut.
didn't get it.
Well, Indiana's got like one of those states that has some of the strictest when it comes to their state aid. They don't give out much, you know what I mean? Like you've got to have strict certain parameters that are a little bit more strict than most states to qualify for aid. Yeah, I don't know. There's a technical word for it, but it's whenever they bombard you with so much info that it's basically impossible for you to be able to pay attention to everything. And that's how they get to slip certain things around and do things because, while people
Yeah.
aren't looking.
Okay. All right.
Love ya.
Love ya.